Hello, welcome. Please, if you can hear me and you can also see my screen, I would like you to indicate in the comment section. Okay, please, if you can hear me, I would like you to drop a comment in the chat box. If you can hear me, please drop a comment in the chat box. Welcome, everyone. Those of you that are just joining us for the first time, today is the first time you are joining us. You didn't participate in yesterday's class. You are welcome. You are welcome. If you are joining us today, please, I would like you to, kindly introduce yourself. Um, your name. Are you a student? If you're a student, what institution? Your department also. Yeah, that will be helpful. So it's 9 at the dot. I would like us to start immediately. So please, if you are online, kindly indicate, okay. Just two persons on the chat box. And for those of you who haven't subscribed to the channel, I would love you to do that. We don't have much persons today. Okay, we need to start. In yesterday's class, I introduced Aspen Hysys, what it's being used for, how it's been applied in the industry. We looked at what unit operations is and what process, unit operations and unit processes. We also talked about thermodynamic properties. That's what we are going to be working on fully during the course of this training. And yeah, we talked about how where Aspen Hysys is being used, why we need to use Hysys. We said it increases profitability. We could use it to increase the yield of our products, to know the percentage increase in yield and how to use our recycle and other stuff. So in today's class, we are going to be using Aspen Hysys itself and how to carry out simulation rather in Aspen Hysys. So if you have a laptop, I would like you to indicate in the comment section, I have a laptop. If you don't have Hysys installed, also indicate I don't have Hysys installed. I said yesterday that we are going to be having an advanced class after this. It's going to be a 3 weeks class. And that 3 weeks class, the cost is going to be 15,000. So we are going to go in depth into how to use Aspen Hysys. Note that a lot of you might say, oh, I'm a student and all of that. I said something yesterday that using Aspen Hysys, using Aspen Hysys, you could carry out simulations. Okay, just give me a minute. Yes, you could carry out simulations, and for senior engineers, you can be paid as much as 200,000, 300,000 for using Aspen Hysys to carry out simulation. So, and also this is one skill you need if you want to go into the industry. Then for those of you that are here, um, I said that those of you that are going to participate in the class that we are going to, the 3 weeks class, professional class, Aspen Hysys is going to be made available because in that class we are going to be having practicals. You understand? We'll be doing a lot of exercises on real world simulation. So everybody that is going to be part of that class, the software is going to be made available for you to download and how to install it. Every process will be detailed. Then, secondly, we yeah, I also said that the fee for the class is 15,000. Very affordable. Normally, as an organization, the fee for 3 weeks training on Aspen Hysys is 170,000. Yeah. But due to the fact that most of the persons that are participating here are students, for that 3 weeks is going to be 15,000. So let's dive into Aspen Hysys and start doing one or two modeling. Okay, from our previous training yesterday, we said before you start carrying out a simulation, one of the things you need to do is to select the components you want to use in carrying out your simulation. So by my right, you can see Aspen Hysys database. You can see methane, ethane, propane. You can also see their symbol. You can see their chemical formula here. Whichever component you want, pick. I'm selecting methane currently. I'll click on add and it adds it on my Aspen Hysys source database here. I'll select ethane, include it there, propane, include it, I-butane, N-butane, I-pentane, N-pentane, and all of that. You could also select more than one component. So how do you do that? You select and hold down your shift key, select again, and you click on add. Yeah, those components have been added to your Aspen Hysys database. The next thing you need to do is to click on fluid package here. You can call it fluid package or thermodynamic model. We are going to explain this thermodynamic model better in the upcoming class, that's the paid class. But I'm going to just give you a brief intro. Thermodynamic model simply gives you a guide on the kind of components you are working with. So if you are working with let's say you are working with electrolytes, the thermodynamic model you are going to use for electrolytes is going to be different from the one you are going to use when you are working with salt. or maybe benzene and maybe non-polar solvent or polar solvent. So picking the correct thermodynamic model of fluid package is going to give you an accurate result. So if you are working with hydrocarbons, the thermodynamic model you are going to use is different from the or fluid package is different from that you are going to use when you are working with electrolyte or non-polar solvents. You get. So, but the in the other class, which is coming up, we are going to go deeper into that because if you pick the wrong fluid package, it is going to affect your results. It's more like somebody solving the wrong question and wants to get the right answer. So, for instance, we are being given a a, a project to do, and it says a car runs maybe 40 kilometers per hour, and what you heard is 80 kilometers per hour, and you're working with that variable, or yes, you're working with that information. Definitely, whatever you are going to get will be wrong because your parameters are wrong. So that's basically what you are going to get if you use the wrong fluid package. Your process might be right, your simulation might be right, but due to the fact that your fluid package is wrong, every other thing you are going to get will be wrong. Okay, so from here, I'm going to select my fluid package. For this illustration, I will pick Pen Robinson. In the advanced class, we are going to explain, or the paid class, we are going to explain Pen Robinson and IRT. When do you need to use them? Then after I've selected my component, I've selected my fluid package. The next thing I'm going to do is to click on simulation. Simulation is at the bottom here. Okay, now this is how I spend Hysys is when you want to start your work. This is my model palette. I can move it around. This houses the icons you are going to be working with. Remember, we said Aspen Hysys is a flow sheet simulation, and a flow sheet is there is you can call it a diagrammatical process of representing a system, or we can say a flow sheet is diagram which represents the operations of a system. So, and those diagrams are icons or symbols. If we want to use a mixer, all you need to do is to click on a mixer and click on your simulation or your flowsheet window. Your mixer is automatically added. You want to click, you want to add a two-way separator. All you need to do is to click on it on the model palette and add it here. Your feed, for those of you that are in chemical engineering, you have heard feed a lot of times. So if you want to add your feed stream, click on it, your energy stream. This is the blue is for feed, the red is for energy. While we continue, I would like to know how many persons you are listening to this and you are in chemical engineering. Please indicate, or you are in petroleum engineering, gas engineering, or petrochemical. How many persons here are in any of this? In any of these departments I just listed? Okay, okay, that's good. I can see a lot of persons, like three persons petrochemicals, two persons. Okay, so I know that I'm talking with. Okay, one said process engineering. John Cook, which school, please? You're a student of which school, John Cook? Okay, PTI. That's nice. Okay, that's great. So those of you in petroleum training institute. So those of you in chemical engineering, um, you understand what I'm saying. That's why in our previous class, I explained that the people that will benefit more from using Hysys are people in this department, petroleum. So petrochemical, chemical engineering, gas engineering, and I don't know. So, but these are the department, process engineering also. These are the departments I'm sure that will benefit from this. Because most of the terms I'm going to be using here are um, process terms like feedstock. People in electrical, we don't do feedstock. So yeah, we need to continue. So for this, we have our feed stream. You can also use it as your outlet stream too. You have your separator. You also have this is your mixer. This is a separator. Just the difference between the symbol. You have your cooler. You have your heater. You have your heat exchanger. This is your pump. This is your PSV. So relief valve. That's relief valve. Excuse me. So and all of that. You have also your compressor. There are a lot of them. Distillation column also can be gotten here. Distillation column can get a distillation column here and all of that. So all your working equipment, you can get them from your model palette. So for this, I'm going to stick it here. Let's keep it um, one side. Okay, we have, remember before now, we have specified what the components we want to use in running our simulation. We have also selected our fluid package. So for this, I'm going to, drop an input stream. I'll double click on this. And the moment you double click on this arrow, you double click on it, double click on it, this dialog box is going to open up. From our previous class yesterday, I said before before you carry out a simulation, you need to specify the thermodynamic property. I want to search for that material and share it one more time. Okay, I've seen it. I'm going to share my slide. Okay, Now, this is Aspen Hysys process simulation model. We can translate a process into Aspen not plus Hysys process simulation by doing the following. Specify the components in the process, which we have done. The next thing, specify the thermodynamic model, which we have done. The third is to define the process flow sheet, define the unit operation, which what we did was to select an input stream, which is our feed. And what we want to do now is to specify the component flow rates and thermodynamic conditions, which is temperature, pressure, and composition. So all what we did yesterday was like the building block of what we are going to be working on today. And that was why I dropped the link for yesterday's class in the group chat. I believe we are all following. Okay, so at this point in time, what we need to do is to change few things. For this, I'm going to change this parameter to feed, or change this to feed. So the moment you do that, you can see it has changed from here. Temperature, I'm going to use 100 degrees Celsius. There are different units here. We have Celsius, Kelvin, Fahrenheit, Rankine. We are going to use Celsius, 100 degrees Celsius. And pressure, we are going to use 1 atm, 1 atmospheric pressure. So those of you in the previous mentioned departments, this is not new to you. All this stuff I'm calling, they are not new to you. So we need to also specify the mass flow rate. The mass flow rate here, the unit is pounds per hour. So I can also change it from here. I can also change it from here. So you have kilogram per hour, you have kilogram per minute, you have kilogram per second, you have kilogram per day, kilogram per week, kilogram per year, and all of that. So I think, okay, I can use kilogram per hour and use 1,000 kilogram per hour. That's for the mass flow. And now, when working with Hysys, always look at the bottom section. For this, you can see unknown composition. Aspen Hysys has different ways of giving us warning. We are going to look at that more. Like, if you are in these departments I mentioned, please, whatever you do, do not miss that feed class. Because what we are going to be doing, everything you have learned in chemical engineering, petroleum, we are going to synchronize it together. So you are going to understand what you are supposed to do as a process engineer or as a chemical engineer. You know, when you are carrying out separation process or material balance here, material balance, and that should be a 300 level course. We have the fraction, the mole fraction of a certain feed. So in order for you to get the mole fraction, that's what Aspen Hysys now is telling us, that unknown composition. So we now need to go back, and that composition, we need to specify the fraction, the mole fraction. So what I did was to click on compositions. And from this, you can see methane, ethane, propane, and all of that. From here, you can see the mole fraction. So I'll scroll down and click on edit. What I'm going to do is to, you now need to specify the mole fraction for all of these components. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on equalize composition. So what it did was to give me 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1 but I'm going to normalize it because we are working with mole fraction. Um, Whatever we are doing is supposed to give us a whole number, which is 1. So you know that when you are doing your calculation, you sum the individual components and you are getting anything more than 1, you know that you're already in error. We are using this for an illustration. This is basically an illustration, not real world data. So I've done that. Now you can see that this has turned to green, dark green. Okay, meaning our simulation is good to go. The necessary parameters we are supposed to set, to define rather, that has been done. So as when Hysys, you need to specify those few parameters, and as when Hysys does the other calculation. If I double click on this now, you are going to see that vapor phase fraction, that's calculated it for us as 0.669. The figures on green, on blue rather, those are the parameters which we edited. Those are the parameters we give to Aspen Hysys. For instance, our feed, we were the one that named it feed. Temperature, we were the one that set it to 212. 100 degrees centigrade, Aspen Hysys converts it to Fahrenheit, 212 Fahrenheit. We set 1 ATM. This is in PSIA. Aspen Hysys does the conversion for us, 14.70. We also specified the mass flow, which is 1,000 pounds per hour. And the fluid package also, we are the one that specified it. So these other parameters on black, you can see vapor phase, every other thing has been calculated. Aspen Hysys did that. Liquid phase, Aspen Hysys carried out that calculation. So what we need to do is to specify three, minimum of 3 or 4, depending. So what we did here, we specified the temperature, pressure, mass flow, and composition. These are the 4 things we did, and Aspen Hysys calculated the rest. So I'm not going to rush this class. While I am teaching, if you have any question, please drop it on the comment section while we are live, or you can also drop it on the comment section in the WhatsApp group, whichever one. But drop it to the comment section because that's where I'm more focused on. So I believe with this, you are now understanding what chemical engineering actually is. These things are things normally you are going to calculate it yourself, but the world has evolved. If you go into Seplat or Chevron, nobody's telling you, nobody's giving you paper and pen to start calculating anything. That's one. That's basically the gap we are bridging. So you are being taught practically theory, but when you transit into the industry, your theory is gone. They don't need it. It's useless to them. They want to solve real world problem. Yeah. How do you get this? How do you develop this? How do you do this? And this is how you do stuffs like that. Okay. So let's go further. So we have our feed. Our feed is being placed in a separator. This is our separator here. And we have the top and we have the bottom. This is a two-way separator. And for this, I'm going to name it vapor. Vapor phase. And then I will name this liquid. Okay. I can also rename this to I can call it separator. Separator. So with this now, you can um, you can see what I'm doing clearly. All I need to do now is to double click on this and set my parameters. The inlet stream, which is my feed, you can see it. My feed has gone into my separator. Now, there are some color code I want to explain. From this, my separator is showing red. It means it is critical. I need to define I need to define that separator. Like I haven't given any parameter to separator. That's what it means red, like error. It is showing error. You need to define this. You need to define this equipment, or you need to define that stream, whatever. So the moment I select the vapor phase and the liquid phase, you now see that automatically it changes. It changes to what? The top changes to green, the bottom changes to green, and the separator itself now has an ash color. From here, you can now see that it is showing okay. That means um, everything is right. As soon as it has calculated um, the product that will go to the vapor phase and that will come to the liquid phase without any error. But I'm going to do something now. You can see unknown duty, and it has also changed the color of our separator. The outline has changed. Now, whenever you see an outline like this, it means Hysys is telling you that you have given it information, but there is one or two other information that needs to be specified for Hysys to finish its calculation. The same thing applies to our product here. It's also showing us, it's now giving this as light blue. So what it means is that we also need few other informations concerning this phase. It's not fully calculated, or as many as has calculated it, but we have some error. Okay, so with this now, this separator has been fully defined. As many as has carried out this simulation without any error. Okay, so for this, let's look at the top product and the bottom product. Okay, I need to change my unit, this SI unit. Okay, so for this, the top temperature is 100 degrees centigrade. The pressure is 1.013 kilopascal. The molar flow, what is going to the top is 3.40 kilogram mole per hour. What is coming to the bottom is 1.680 kilogram mole per hour. Are you seeing? So as soon as this has calculated everything, when we use the separator, all we just needed to do was to, define our feed stream, bring our separator, and what our separator does, it separates it, 50, it separates our feed, the vapor phase goes to the top, and the liquid phase goes to the bottom. Okay, so I'm going to take one example. Um, I'm going to take one example from the examples I've already drafted out for this class. Okay. Okay, so for this, let's close this, close case. No, I don't want to save. From our previous class, you click on new. So you can see that Hysys, you can use Hysys for column, C, FCC, fluidized catalytical cracker. You can use it for hydrocracker. You can use it for a reformer. You can use it for sulfur recovery. So there are different areas you can use Hysys. For those of you in chemical engineering, these are not news. Catalytic cracker, you have heard of it. Sulfur recovery, you have heard of that. Okay, I'm going to share my screen now. Okay, yes, my screen is already shared. The example we are going to use is this. Create a material stream that contains only water in the following condition. The fluid package we are using is Pengrobinson. The flow rate is 100 kilogram per hour, and the pressure is 1 atm. The vapor phase is 1. Now, the question is calculate what is the temperature of the stream. Now, those questions are being asked. You are given this calculate temperature. Now, we want to use Aspen Hysys in doing that. Okay, for this, I'm going to click on add. I will type water. Okay, we have water here. Click on it. Come to fluid package. Click on add and click on Pengrobinson. Fully defined. Click on my stream. Double click feed. Okay, water. I can name this water. Okay, the next thing I need to do is go to my composition. So for this now, what is going to be my composition? What's the composition of H2O? I'm asking the audience. You guys are studying chemical engineering, petroleum engineering. You have done material balance. You have done separation technique. What should be the mole fraction of water in this? I'm waiting for response. Yeah, for those of you that haven't subscribed yet, I will indulge you to do that. Give us a thumbs up then. Also, we have videos on our channel. For those of you that don't know, we have videos on AutoCAD, free videos that you can watch and upskill yourself. You also need to turn on the notification button so that when we organize classes like this, you get notification that we have started a live class. February, we are organizing a one-day free class on proto structure and AutoCAD. So the group we created is for Hysys. It might not be posted there because um, proto structure and chemical engineering are two. Proto structure is used by civil engineers. But if you want to participate in the class, all you need to do is to hit the subscribe button. The moment we go live, you receive a notification. Yeah, that rent is live. Okay, yeah. Somebody said 1.0. Yes. But why did you pick 1.0? Okay, somebody said Umo said this application isn't hard. It just needs regular practice. Well, it isn't hard and it's not difficult to learn depending on who is teaching you and the example you are using. You you can be doing practice, and the practice you are doing, the practice exercise you are using is not even what is required in the industry. Yeah. Okay, somebody said one. My question is why did you choose one? Why one? Why not two? Why not 0.5? I'm expecting a lot of persons to um I'm expecting a lot of persons to give me their answer with regards to this. What should be the mole fraction of water in this case? Just one person has answered. Yes, this person said the feed stream contains pure water. Yeah, that's it. And secondly, we don't have any other substance there. Yes, we don't have any other substance there or any other component. And the mole fraction is one, it is pure water. If it is water and a mixture, we have to account for that mixture. So what you have been learning, what you have been learning in chemical engineering, you can see that we are now adopting it in Hysys. Yeah, so for this, what we have here is one, and click OK. Unknown temperature. Remember, our question said we should calculate the temperature. So we are not giving anything on that. Our vapor phase is one, pressure 1 atm. Vapor phase, which is this, is one. Vapor phase is one. Pressure 1 atm. One, click and drop down 1 atm. Flow rate. Our example says the flow rate is what? 100 kilomole per hour flow rate. Now, I believe you all know the difference between mass flow and molar flow. So initially we use mass flow. This time we are going to use molar flow. 100 kilogram. Okay, yeah, 100 kilogram per hour. Like I can see that it says our simulation is good to go. We are good to go. But we did specify the temperature, and it's calculated it for us. Now, when you are working with Hysys, you need to specify 4 parameters, or any, apart from your composition, you need to specify 3 parameters, which is you can either use your vapor phase, your pressure, molar flow, or you don't specify your vapor fraction, you specify your temperature, it's calculated. So our temperature has been calculated, and it is what? 99.96 degrees Celsius. You can see that it's fully specified. So those of you that are in chemical engineering, why haven't you shared this with your colleagues? You're supposed to be seeing a lot of petroleum process engineers here. You're supposed to be seeing a lot of petrochemical engineers here, but people are few. Stuff like this, I think you should share it to your department, your class group, so that they can also benefit from it. It's free. It's not paid. So you all should grow together. We are going to take another example. This is just basic. The next example says find the specific volume This is too easy. We're going to look at some other thing now. Okay, something more, something that will require us to do a little calculation also. Okay, pump. Um, okay, we are going to use pump this time. Now, what are pumps used for? Pumps are used to move liquid. So you are going to be hearing pump, compressor, pump, compressor. Whenever you hear anything that has to do with compressor, know that you are working with gas. When you hear pump, pump has to do with what? Liquid, or how will I put it now? Semi-liquid, like mud. You can molten form. Mud is in its molten form. Mud in its molten form can also be pumped um, with pump. Can also be moved with pump. Okay. Next thing we are going to look at is, yes, another example. So for this, the pump increases the pressure of the fluid. The example, water at 120 degrees centigrade and 3 bar is fed into the pump, and this pump has 10% efficiency. The flow rate of water is 100 kilomole per hour. Its outlet pressure is 84 bar. Using Penn-Robinson equation of state fluid package, determine the outlet temperature of water. Okay, I think I will share my screen so that I'll share the example so that those of you that want to take screenshots or whatever, you can do that. Okay, now let's move over to Aspen analysis. So we are still using water, which is our base component. What I need to do is to bring in my pump. Double click on that and start pump out. Pump out. Okay, I'll double click on the pump. Now you can see that it's red because I haven't specified anything. There are lots of parameters I need to specify. So select the inlet water, the outlet pump. Now this my pump needs energy. E watts, E100. Now I've specified few things. Now it's showing me what this in ash, but we can see yellow highlight lines. It means there are still little errors here. So from what we have, we say water at 3 bar. So I need to really specify this, double click on it. Come here, water, our pressure, 3 bar, 3 bar. Yeah. Now it calculates the rest for me. It's fed into a pump and the pump has only 10% efficiency. The water flow rate is this 100 kilograms, so it's okay. And its outlet pressure from the pump is 84 bar. So what I'm going to do now is to specify the 10% efficiency and 84 bar. Okay, for this pump out, this is where I need to specify that 84 bar, 84, because this is the outlet, 84 bar. So the moment I do that, Aspen Hysys has automatically calculated the work done by this pump. So what am I trying to say? We know that whenever a pump is operating, there's always change in pressure. So the change in the inlet of this pump and the outlet is different. What are we saying? This pump done work, has done work in moving the fluid water from 3 bar to 10 bar. But there are still things we need to calculate in this. I'm going to double click on my pump and come to parameters. From here, you can see adiabatic efficiency. I'm going to do what? Use this, change this to 10. Now, you can see that from here, it's telling us vapor in vapor in inlet stream. But I don't see how there should be a vapor in the inlet stream. Because what we are working with is just pure water. Okay, go to parameters. We have set this, then double click on this and change this to 84 bar. 84 bar. Okay, just give him. I need to. So what we are supposed to calculate here is the outlet temperature of water. This. Okay. So from this, we have 3 bar, yes, and 100 kilomole per hour. Vapor phase is what? 1. Okay, water is at 120 degrees centigrade. Okay. I'm going to delete this. Temperature of water is 120. Yeah. Okay, I've seen where the error was coming from. Double click on it again. My parameter, I'll select this 10-degree efficiency. Input is water, output pump out. Now it has calculated. The reason I was getting an error before, like I said, water and pump is used in moving liquid and semi-solid, like I made mention before, mud. Previously, from what we said previously, we have a vapor phase. And we know that vapor, whenever we have gas in our liquid and it's being pumped into our pump, it spoils the pump, it causes cavitation. So that's it. It causes cavitation. What what does it mean? Cavitation in pumps is the formation and violent collapse of vapor bubbles. So whenever you have vapor in your pump, it causes cavitation and the pump sometimes might explode or get damaged. Yeah. So just know that when if this wasn't pure water and there was a mixture of gas here, all what I needed to do was to put a separator here so that the vapor can go from the top. Then the bottom product, which contains pure liquid, is what is going to be fed into our pump. So I think this is now somebody said, do they apply equation of states to real life problem? Yeah. When you are working, whatever we am teaching here is how it's been applied in the industry. You must specify your equation of states. If you specify the wrong, like I said, in the paid class, we are going to go deeper into it. For those of you that are just coming now, I said the paid class is going to be 15,000. It's going to be 2 weeks training. So for that, I'm going to explain equation of state better. Like that is like a class on its own. We can't cover that here. If you are doing anything in Aspen Hysys in the real world, you need to use the proper equation of state. So I believe this example is well understood. So the moment you have a gas in in your feed, the feed that is the stream that is going into your pump is going to cause cavitation. And at the end of the day, destroy your pump. Destroy your pump. So that's something, and this is why we need to carry out simulation. So you see what we said about optimization. When I carried out this simulation, what happened? I noticed that Aspenitis gave me a warning. What was that warning? You have vapor phase, you have vapor in your inlet. And what did I do? I had to quickly come back to make sure that I rectify that. So if what I assume we just went directly straight to the field, we must have damaged one pump. Sometimes a pump can be as expensive as maybe a 1 million naira, 500,000, 2 million, 10 million, 15 million, depending. There are some pumps that might be 50 million. So whatever you are doing in the oil and gas, there is no room for error, no room for that at all. Okay, so does anyone have question before we move to the next example? I'm waiting for question, please. Okay. I think we can continue now since no one is asking any question. I needed to make sure that we are not in a hurry. We need to make sure that we are not in a hurry. Okay. Just give me a minute. I need to check for another example. Okay, so one thing I would love you guys to do is take a screenshot of this class and make a post on LinkedIn. We have prize for that. So those of you that do that, there's a possibility that some of you might get a discount for that class, for the paid class. So for this 2 days class you have attended, create a post and tag Rent Limited. I dropped our LinkedIn channel earlier today. So while the class is going on, take screenshots, different areas, and create a post. What have you learned so far? Okay, let's take another example. Compressors, we are going to look at compressor. Compressors are equipment used to move or and increase the pressure of a gas stream. According to